All right. So, welcome to our amazing workshop today. This is how to relax in your business and hit your biggest goals. And this whole workshop really, it just comes out of my heart. It comes out of lived experience. I'm going to be sharing my story with you today. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through, I'm going to share my story of my journey of how we got to this point. I'm going to share about my philosophy and what I really believe that relaxation and creating a sense of ease and calm in your life can actually do for your business. And then what actually gets in the way and blocks our receiving and our abundance and all of our manifesting what we're trying to create in our businesses. And then I'm actually going to guide you through a process and we're going to do some breakthrough work together. So if you are able to write, if you have a pen and paper or something, that's okay. You can also type in the chat. It just kind of depends on how personal it is, how much you want to share versus not share. And so we'll actually be doing some work, getting clear on what's going on. And then we're going to actually close our eyes and go into a meditative state. And then we will wrap up. I do not have a paid offer or a program that I'm offering today, but I will be making an invitation to have a one-on-one gratis coaching session with me at the end of this workshop. So that's what you can expect. And here we go. So I just want to acknowledge you for being here and taking time out of your day, whether you're live or on the replay, to listen to this. When it comes to getting into a space of calm and kind of stepping away from the anxiety and stress of everyday life, it's not something that everybody is willing to do. And so I really just want to recognize you, celebrate you for being here and taking the time to do this workshop and take this time for yourself, because when you invest in yourself and you give to yourself, especially at the emotional level and at the transformational level, it always reaps rewards in your business. So for the workshop, you'll want to have pen and paper if you have them, or something to write with, some water to drink. I always like to have a little bit of water. I have mine right here. And then also just linking up your head and your heart, because our logical minds tend to be okay, we got to go. We got to go to the next thing, on to the next thing. And our hearts are like, hey, wait a second. What about me? What about my needs? And so we want to bridge them together as much as possible. So this is just an invitation to come into your head, into your heart, and unite those parts of yourself. And it will become easier and easier as we go through the workshop. So my journey that got me here, um, I've never shared this in this way before. I've shared parts of it before, but it's vulnerable to really tell my story and what led me here today. And I'm not going like all the way back to the beginning in childhood, but really the last 4 years of my life that led me to having an anxiety disorder, having constant stress, constant worry, constant self-doubt. No matter how successful my outside life was, these were the events that unfolded that led me to that point. And so in early 2020, my one-on-one coaching business was primed to scale, and I was moving into group coaching. And I had just launched a new program called the Heart-Centered Sales Mentorship Circle. And I was touring different speaking venues, networking groups, sponsorships, doing all sorts of things to get out there in person in the community. You can probably imagine where this is leading. Getting out there to do all the things to grow and scale this coaching program. I was getting sales in. I had done a little over 20,000 in sales on the program. So it was off to a really good start. And then just a few weeks later, the pandemic hit. So I'm literally at this point, I'm like, I'm ready to scale. I'm ready to go. And then we're here in lockdown. And initially, like the way that I perceived it was that, oh my gosh, like all my lead generation is gone. Like I can't generate leads. I have to pivot online, and online just isn't the same. Now, mind you, I had been an online business owner for many years and doing the online thing and marketing and Facebook groups, but I had really found a niche with the in-person connections and making connections in person. And so I was really loving that. So I was a little bit heartbroken, or a lot heartbroken, that that was gone. So I tried to pivot online. I started to do all the things, and I just wasn't feeling it. Something in my heart was really closed off, and I wasn't sure what to do. Well, a couple weeks later, I get a call from my mentor. She's my high ticket sales mentor. I'd been with her for a couple years at that point, or yeah, maybe about a year, not a couple years, just 1 year. I had been with her, and she says, "Hey, Celia, I've got this opportunity. A bunch of our clients have moved their events online, and we need a sales team. And I'm wondering if you can come sell for these events." And I'm like, "Well, sure. Okay." So I start doing that, and I'm loving it. Like, we're selling, we're making money, everything's all great. And within 2 or 3 months of doing that, I get promoted into a role called sales team leader, which is essentially like a sales manager role. And so I start doing the sales manager role. And within, I would say, 2 months of that or less, I decide that I'm going to move into being a sales consultant. My coaching program, I wasn't really promoting and getting a lot of leads for it, but I was starting to connect with other people that wanted more high level sales support in their businesses. So I say, okay, great, I'm going to do this. So I stopped coaching. Now, to anybody else, that probably would have been okay. But for me, it actually wasn't okay, because in the years prior, I had closed a music business. I had decided that I was going to move from being a sales or a energy worker and business coach into a sales coach. And so I was going to stop doing energy work. And now I'm a sales coach, and now I'm going to be a sales consultant. I'm not going to coach anymore. And so it's like all of these phases of my life, I was sort of like discarding the previous things that I had done to like really just focus in on my role. So this went on for a couple years. I'm doing the sales consulting, and at this point, I'm just really chasing money. I want clients, I want money, like I want to do all the things, and I think that money's going to make me happy and it's going to make me feel good. While deep down, I have all of this emotional stuff going on under the surface that's not being addressed at all. Just all of the changes that I made in my life, all of the resulting changes from the pandemic, loss, moves, all these things were just swirling inside of me. And so the more action I took, the more money I made, the more prestigious clients I got, the unhappier I got, the emptier I felt, the more lost that I felt. And I couldn't figure out why. I had all of this going for me. I had the big clients, and I had eventually stepped away from my sales management, sales team lead role on my mentors team to pursue my consulting business full time. And I was getting clients, I was making money, but I was so empty and unhappy on the inside. So everything comes to a head one day. My biggest client decides that she wants to stop working together. And now the writing had been on the wall for a while about this. I had seen it kind of coming. I knew how she treated her team members and her consultants and contractors. And so I felt it coming. And there was a moment where I could have just stepped away from the relationship altogether, like the opportunity presented itself, and I was advised to keep working together. Why? Because of the money. And the thing is that in my previous, all of my incarnations of my businesses from since 2008, I've been an entrepreneur, trusting myself and doing the thing that seemed uncomfortable or seemed unpopular was actually what always helped me to move forward and get results. But I wasn't able to trust myself anymore. So I stayed in that relationship longer than I should have. And so by the time that she was ready to end the relationship, like officially, I lost it. Like I hit an emotional rock bottom. And I was so sad. I wouldn't say I was depressed, but I was definitely stressed out, worried, anxious. And it wasn't even so much about the money. I actually couldn't figure out like why I felt so low about a client relationship. I'm like a healthy person that's like has all their like is in a good place. It doesn't get all worked up about something like this, but I did because that's where I was. And so that led me to start to do an inventory of my life. Like, why do I feel this way? Why do I feel so anxious? Why do I feel so stressed? Why am I so unhappy? Why does everything on the outside appear to be okay, but deep down inside, I feel so lost and alone. And so that's really when I started to peel back the layers and see all the choices that I had made of discarding my gifts and leaving things behind that I wasn't making choices and I wasn't really thinking about my emotional health and my needs and that I could be safe to show up in the full expression of myself. And I saw that I wasn't trusting my instincts anymore. And so I decided that things were going to change from that point on. And so what ended up happening was I did land an even bigger client that was even more influential, started working with them and their team, and decided like this was the last one and that I was going to find a new way. And so that's what I did. I started doing things like Michael Singer's surrender experiment. I started to do alpha meditation and alpha state. I started doing visualization, and I just started to get really clear on like where I wouldn't say went wrong, but just like where I strayed in my path that led me to this point of feeling so disconnected and so cut off from my emotions. And that took me back to childhood and to, learning things from my mom, like pursue money because that's going to take care of everything and deny yourself emotionally. So there's all these things that I had been shown from my conditioning and from society that were factoring in to all of those results I was getting were outside everything looked great, but internally I was really suffering. And that was what led me to actually develop this method that I'm going to show today that is called Relax into Results. And it's a 5-step method that I'm going to guide you through where we actually go through the different stages that can lead us to liberation, to feeling amazing, to feeling calm, and actually having like really healthy coping mechanisms to feel amazing in our businesses and in our lives. So my philosophy is that when you have inner calm, that you're able to receive new inspired ideas and act on them. Because the thing is when I was stressed out and worried and anxious all the time and chasing the external things, I didn't have inner calm. I see that there's a misspell on my slide. There's missing an in and inner. But anyway, so I wasn't able to have that. And so I wasn't able to receive the ideas and the insights and the intuition and the instinct to guide my path forward with confidence and joy. And so I realized that actually being in a stressed out state blocks us from what it is that we want to receive. So I've become so just passionate about this and convicted in this being something that not people don't talk about. It's not common. We're taught to go chase strategy and external things and business things, and we need those, but we also have to have the inner world to back it, and we have to have the belief in ourselves and the faith and confidence in ourselves that we can achieve what it is that we want to achieve. So when it comes to being relaxed and calm, I just want to draw a distinction here that it's not aloofness, like, oh, they can just, it'll figure it out, or it'll figure itself out, or I don't really care. And it's also not numbing. Because it's very easy for us to think, oh, I'm just going to relax with my chocolate or my wine or my cake or whatever it is, and like not feel what I'm feeling. So when we're in a relaxed state, we're able to really feel the presence of all of our emotions and all of our thoughts and process through them in a healthy way. And so I also don't want to discount stress or pressure, because we do well under healthy stress and healthy pressure. We're just not designed to be in that state 24/7. That's why we hear fight or flight. Those kind of terms come up because it's just, it's just how people live, right? It's sort of like par for the course. And that's how it was for me. Like I thought it was normal to feel like that all the time because that's how I felt my whole life. But then I reached a point where I knew something's got to change. Like I don't think I'm designed to live this way. I know that there's got to be something better. So the healthy stress and the healthy pressure of going for big goals and doing things like workshops today and all of the stuff, like that's good. That helps us grow. But again, we're not designed to be in that state all of the time. So I just want to expose these points here of there's these hidden truths of being anxious and stressed and worried all of the time. And I hit them, but I'll just reiterate again. One, it blocks us from being able to have insights and see all of the opportunities that are available to us. We start to doubt ourselves and we don't trust our instincts. We also don't trust opportunities that come our way. Sometimes we're like, we're a little hesitant because we don't trust ourselves. We're also not able to have those external means of trust. So that can just kind of look like paranoia or worry or doubt all the time. And others could be going behind our backs. There's also that lack of a lack of faith in the future. So we're not able to see that the future holds good things for us, that we're able to move forward with confidence and ease. It also, we'll kind of villainize our pasts, always, doubting our choices or being angry at people or even feeling victimized by our pasts. And we can also feel that way about our current situation where we're mad and we're angry at our situation. So it creates a lot of complex emotions that add up and compound. And we want to let all of those go so that we can be free and so that we can do what we're here to do, which is help others, make a difference in the world, no matter what you're doing. Everybody, if you're working a 9 to 5 job or you have a business, ultimately our purpose is to be of benefit and of service and value to our fellow humans here on this planet. So we're going to get into some workshopping now. And so I want you to identify what your biggest goal in your business is right now. So you can write it down or you can just think about it in your head, but I want you to choose one. So it could be something that it's more like product launch related. It could be a certain income goal or getting a certain number of clients in your business, but really just think about one goal that you have in your business right now. And just take a moment to think about that. All right, so we'll be revisiting the goal as we go through the process, but you should have at least one goal. Oops, okay. Now I want you to just check in with your goal right now and see how you feel about it. Like just kind of check in with your body and your mind. When you think about your goal, how do you feel about it? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel tense? Just notice what it is. And if for some reason that you don't feel relaxed about it, I want you to just take a moment and see that if you can create a relaxed sense or a relaxed state inside of your body around it. Just see if you can calm your mind. You don't have to go into analyzing the thoughts, but just feel like, you know what, I can do this. I'm calm. I can do this goal. I can reach it. I can hit it. Okay. Now, I want you to think back towards your goal, and I want you to go back and think about a time where you felt frustrated with your goal. You felt like it's not going to happen, or I'm doubting it, or something. And I want you to look back and say, okay, this goal, I want this. There's things that are coming up that are making me doubt it. And I want you to just look back into the past and see if you can find a moment in time where that idea was planted in your life. So it could be something from childhood, it could be something from the last few years. I meet a lot of people that because of COVID, they're still like, my business isn't the same since COVID. I hear that since COVID, I hear that all the time. But just look back to, is there something that ever happened in my life that could cause me to doubt that this goal is possible? And see if you can identify what that is. All right. So now, oops, my slides. Okay. So now we have an idea of something that has us feeling like maybe we're not going to achieve this goal, or there's some doubt around it, and that we should have been able to link back to the past of something that happened, a belief, a thought, an experience. And now we're clear on that. And so the next phase, we're not going to do this right now. I'm going to introduce it. What we're going to do is we're actually going to do some work to reprogram that and shift how we feel about that. Now, this is part of a bigger process that I take clients through. So what I will say is what we're going to do is we're going to identify the spot in your body that you're feeling that stress or that tension and work on dissolving that emotion. And what happens is a lot of times we're not able to feel our emotions because we're afraid of like the discomfort that comes with them, because our brain's like, no, can't feel it, can't get into it. It's not safe to feel our emotions. And of course, society has kind of taught us that as well. And even in business, it's like, oh, business is just business. It's not emotional. But there's so many emotions that are wrapped up into being entrepreneurs and having businesses. So we're going to spend some time reprogramming that emotion and where you feel that in your body. And the deeper layer of work that goes around it is actually we can go in and revise different scenes from your past and almost getting into some like quantum kind of multidimensional work, but we can actually like revise those scenes in your past and create new meanings for them. Because a lot of times what happens is when there's a traumatic event or there's an experience that we have that's uncomfortable, and we rewind back to it, we find that there are certain beliefs that are installed into our psyche. And so then our mind, the brilliant brain that it is always looking back to those past events as bad, horrible, not good. And we're not able to see all the good that happened in them. So we're not even going, or that were happening in our lives around that time. It's like we only remember the bad thing that happened and we attach to that. But we can go and find good and positive memories and start to bring those forward into the present moment and start to feel joy and happiness again. So that's a bigger context of how that works. And so from there, we get to look at, okay, are there parts that I have let go, or are there gifts or skills or talents that I've used in the past that maybe I feel like they don't apply to my current business or what I'm currently doing, and that I could actually start to utilize now. So we start to reawaken parts of ourselves that we have maybe discarded. For me, it was my coach side, my healer side, my musician side. I actually came out of retirement from music this year and started playing again. I actually did a jazz gig on Saturday, and that was something that I never thought that I would do again. So with the reawakening process of allowing our, our true selves to come through and all of our gifts, we also want to focus and develop our internal focus and not be so caught on the whim of like social media and marketing and all of the things that can kind of get in our way and disrupt our flow throughout the day. So the reawakening is not only to our fullness of ourselves and what's inside of us, but it's also kind of a protection of dopamine addiction and different external factors that can get in the way of our ability to create what it is that we want. And then we get to reimagine. So we actually get to shift our perception and reimagine our goals, because maybe that goal revisited at the beginning, it's like, okay, it's an okay goal, but like I actually want so much more and I want to create so much more for myself. And I want to reimagine that. So what we're going to do now is I wanted to introduce you through all of the steps. And so what we're going to do now is actually go through the process. So I'm going to actually take you through my 5-step process now. So what I recommend is if you are able to close your eyes and get relaxed, that's what I suggest. Because we're going to be doing some work with your hands. We're not doing EFT tapping or anything like that. But we are going to be doing some work, and I'm going to take you into a relaxed state. And then I'm going to guide you through a process of the 5 steps, and then we're going to come out on the other side. All righty? Awesome. Okay. So the first thing, there's 2 things that we're going to do. Number 1 is I'm going to teach you something. It's called the 3 fingers technique. Okay. And this is a technique that allows you to get into alpha brain state. And so what you do is you take your thumb and then the pads of your pointer finger and your middle finger, and then you just touch them together like this. And then you just let your fingers curve naturally. Okay, so the 3 points touch together, and then you can just relax on your lap or wherever, but just try and keep your hands in that position, relaxed. This is the 3 fingers technique. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and I'm going to help you go deeper into an alpha brain state. Now, this is not hypnosis. This is just counting down and helping you to relax. All right. So I'm going to count down from 10 to 1, and I'm going to help you get into relaxed state, and then I'm going to guide you through the process. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, feeling relaxed, 2, and 1. So at this point, you can have your eyes closed. You have your fingers set in the 3 fingers technique. And I just want you to go back to your goal and think about your goal for a second and just feeling really relaxed around it. Just very calm and relaxed around your goal. Just visualize it for a moment. All right. So earlier we went over the rewind process, and we said if there was something that happened in the past, a memory, an experience, something that we felt was maybe getting in the way of us feeling excited about our goal or wanting to pursue the goal, I'm just bringing up that rewind moment, that moment in time that we rewound to. And I want you to notice where in your body you feel any sort of sensation related to that memory. So it could be in your chest, in your abdomen, but when you think about that memory, notice where in your body you feel it. And that's the first step. We're just noticing where we feel it. You could feel it in multiple places, and that's okay. Just observe that. And you can say to yourself, I feel it in my stomach. I feel it in my chest. I feel it in my fingers. And we're heading into the reprogramming phase. So just notice where you're feeling that discomfort, or it may not be discomfort, but that sensation that you're feeling in your body. Now, with that feeling, I want you to see if you can name the emotion associated with it. Does it have a name? You can say to yourself, I am feeling this emotion. And do your best to name it. There's no judgment. We're coming from a place of pure observation, curiosity. And once you've named it, now see if you can identify, is there a color associated with it? Is there a color associated with it? Is there one color? Is there multiple colors? Just observe it and name the color or colors. And now we're going to see, is there a texture associated with it? And when you think about naming the texture, name it objectively, like almost like how you would communicate it to a child. It's fuzzy, it's prickly, feels like sandpaper. Just notice what texture it has. And then is there any movement? Is it moving around at all? And when it moves, is it fast or slow, in the middle? We're just gaining objective information to understand more about how we feel inside of our bodies. So now with all of this, I just want you to take a moment to just feel all of that in your body, that emotion, and just relax with it. And we're just going to sit here and relax for a few seconds and just let ourselves melt into the emotion and then let that emotion melt away. All right, so that motion should be fading away now in the background, not feeling it as much. And so now let's go into our reawakening. And I want you to see yourself really bringing your full self into your endeavors right now. Just see yourself happy and showing up and joyful, calm, relaxed. And notice if there's anything that you're seeing in your visualization about skills that you can bring forward, or maybe ideas are coming in, insights. Just recognize those right now and just give a moment for that reawakening to take place. You have your whole lifespan to draw from of gifts and abilities to tap into. And now with this reawakening, let's move that and propel that into our reimagining. So coming back to our goal and seeing, how can I reimagine this to make it more fun, more exciting? Is there something that I've been wanting to do and wanting to try? And now I feel relaxed and calm to do it. I feel safe to do it. So just reimagine what's possible and the potentials that are available to you. And this process will continue to work as you go about your day and move forward. You may get new ideas today, tomorrow, in the coming days about how you can reimagine and what you can reawaken. So we're just going to take another moment. Just finish up with where you are now. And then I'm going to count you out and count you back up into your normal everyday waking state, counting from 5 to 1. And when I reach 1, you'll be eyes open, wide awake, fully aware. 5, 4, just starting to move around a little bit. 3, just feeling more energized, more present. 2, and 1. Eyes open, wide awake, feeling present, and feeling more relaxed and calm than you were before. So during your day, as you go forward, you can do the 3 fingers technique and practice that anytime. I do it on meetings. I do it when I go to sleep. So it's just a great way to just get yourself into a calm, centered, relaxed state using that 3 fingers technique. And so I just wanted to open up if there's anything that you want to share. I'll give the floor for sharing, or any questions that you might have. I'm available for that for a moment. Okay. And did you have something you wanted to share?
I just want to say thank you, Celia. That was really helpful. I I think that I could really feel the difference when you put your fingers together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it really does help to kind of enlarge my vision.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was really good.
Good. Thank you for sharing. I'm glad that you got value out of it. So this will be all of this will be on the replay. And so you're welcome to go back and listen to this as many times as you want to go through the process. And this is just a reminder to relax and slow down, stay calm, when the world and we see people getting frantic and stressed and worried and anxious, that we can be over here in our calm space. And that when we are relaxed and we are calm, we hold that space for others and we start to set the tone of that it's safe to do that, that it's okay. And we actually start to create a movement. I've been amazed by the people in my life that have responded in my personal life, just not just professionally, to this more relaxed approach and just we're not stressed out, we're not anxious all the time, like everything's okay, we're safe. It just creates such a different experience of life. And so
Mm.
this is something that I want for everyone who wants it, who wants to seek that. And then for anyone who wants to try this out and do some one-on-one coaching with me, this is an invitation to schedule a gratis one-on-one coaching session with me, valued at $500. We'll actually go into a specific area of your life that you're wanting to see improvement, whether it's your goals, other areas, your money, your success. Maybe there's some health stuff going on. We're going to look at what's causing you to not feel like you can have those with the ease and joy that you want. So that is available. That link will also be in the email that I send. That's at celiafayemeisel.com/gratis. And I want to say thank you so much for joining live today. If you're catching the replay, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.